I'm back and I'm in a cowboy hat. Now what isn't there to love? Hi everyone! I know it's been so long. I didn't mean it for it to be this long. I didn't even say vote and drop. Hi, I'm Styleboy, welcome to Boy. I didn't mean for this to be a month break. I tried to film this video that I'm actually filming now, which is talking about Love Victor season 3 and about the whole show in general. That week was just jam-packed and I had no space to breathe. And B, I wasn't really happy with the video. So then I was gonna be like, oh my god, I'm gonna feel Pride, which is where Yeehaw came in. Which, by the way, I had such a fun Pride. I loved Pride. It was such a good time. I tried to film. I got some clips, but like it wasn't anything that's like a proper video length. So I didn't really end up getting loads, which is cool, which is fine. And now we're here. And now I'm finally in front of the camera again. And I'm so excited. So I am finally filming about Love Victor season 3 and about my opinions and whatever. I have some thoughts, I have some opinions, and in this video we're going to discuss them all. So before we start, what do we need to give? That's right, disclaimers. Wow, how did you know? Okay, one, I am going to be very critical. I feel like I saw, was it Midnight? Is that her name? On YouTube, kind of state when she did her Euphoria thing that she was being very critical. And I was like, oh, that's a pretty good disclaimer. So disclaimer one, I am going to be very critical of the show. Again, although this was all my opinion, I will be taking more of a critical angle. And obviously I did watch it and finish it. So obviously to a degree I enjoyed it. But again, you can agree and disagree. Don't be aggressive in the comments. Number two, if I do any comparisons to different mediums, I will be comparing it to similar mediums in a similar vein. So what I mean by that is I'm not going to be comparing Love Victor to like Euphoria. They're nowhere near each other. But if I am going to be comparing it, I'll be comparing it to things that I feel like are similar in comparison to like, oh, if you watch this, you might watch that, or you might like this. This could include Heartstopper, Crush, Avatar, because I actually finally watched the full series, loved it. Oh my god. And different shows like that. So, movies even. So if I compare something, it's going to be along that. Also, before we start, there will be spoilers. So that's my third disclaimer. And my fourth disclaimer, which isn't really a disclaimer, but you should know anyway, please subscribe. And without further ado, let us begin. Number one, opinion number one. Baby, this season was rushed. Oh my god, this season was just so rushed. Because the problem is, they kind of completed half the storylines by episode 4, which is a problem. So this season was short anyway, it was only 8 episodes, which is completely fine. I'm not too fussed with it being shorter. This was rushed because every single storyline, again, finished by episode 4, or didn't really have longevity. So when you got onto episode 5, 6, 7, and 8, we're just like scrambling, trying to figure out everything. Particularly one relationship that felt hella rushed was Miss Pilar and Mr. Felix. Why? If you watch my commentary for season 2, which by the way I did that, I think I really liked them two together because I was like, she really cared about him in like a caring way, in the way that she wanted, and he liked it. They both felt comfortable with each other and safe, and it felt like a really good relationship. So what happened this season? Literally we ended with both of them being like, oh, I like you, and kiss. And literally 10 minutes after, you have Felix being like, oh my god, let's tell everyone that we're in a relationship. And I'm like, huh?
What? 10 minutes? It's been 10 minutes?
And the thing is, it was like their relationship. They didn't even go on a date. Experience each other outside of the house, maybe? They don't really know each other outside of Victor, so maybe that might be a good idea to start on a date? And their relationship was a mess. Their relationship was a hot-ass mess. Pilar felt insecure because Felix didn't want to ruin the relationship between her family and him, which is fine because he does explain it. I'm like, oh, in return, doesn't really give her time? Which is just like, what? And I think she says this, I don't know if I remember this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like, I think she says at one point, like, I wanted to have sex with you because I'm like worried in case I'll lose you. And it's like, girlie, you should not be wanting to have sex with him for that reason. Also, granted, like, she wasn't exactly good either because she was like, why are you fighting? And it's like, babe, that's your family. Like, I should not be in the way of your family. I'm like, good boy. You shouldn't really want to have sex with someone or be in a relationship with someone in spite of your parents. You should want to be in it because you love them and you like spending time with them. So me just sitting there, I was like, this relationship's a hot ass mess. Like, you're both not really doing anything for each other, so why are we here? Okay, next one, or next opinion that this requires the house, because this is probably what I felt, especially this season, which is it overall lacked creativity. I'm not just talking about it visually, because oh my god, they could have done so much more visually. I know that they got the budget to have like a better camera situation. It's just like, wow, pretty. And they did use coloring. I could tell they used an orange and teal coloring, so it makes everything look more cinematic. I noticed that. However, where was the creativity? Especially this season, there were so many missed opportunities to expand, to explore storylines, to explore character development, and so many different themes we could have explored that I felt like were completely valid. But no, it was just like so short-lived. I mean, granted, again, last season, so I kind of get it, but it's like, why are you introducing characters if like, what's the point? Like, e.g., with Mia and her mum, I hated that. I remember watching it and kind of being like, why are we here? Well, she left because she wanted to stay in Creekwood. Girl, why? So she kind of like went to see her mum as an act of rebelling against her dad because her dad doesn't communicate. So we go with Andrew. I was kind of watching it and I was way too much on the mum side, real recording. So let me try and explain my thoughts and feelings. So I think, thinking about it, I think Mia has every right to be upset and want to walk out as soon as Mia's mum goes like, no, I'm not going to Creekwood. As much as it's like a boundary and as much as it's like, yeah, I can't do now, but I can do after, it's years of abandonment. And the one time you kind of ask for something because you're trying to reach out and it's a no, for her, it's like, it's another feeling of abandonment. I completely understand that. However, the reason why I'm a little bit upset is because why did she not come back? Especially since she asked. Why didn't she come back after her exhibition and be like, hi, remember me? I legit thought she was gonna return and she didn't. And I was like, well, that was pointless. So what was the point in that? Just to have me and her mum reunite? We could have done it in a so much more interesting way. Come on. Or even like Benji's storyline, which could have been such a decent one, but no. So it just lacked in that sense where there wasn't any development and there wasn't any exciting storylines and I just really got bored. This is an opinion. I don't know if people feel the same, which again, comment your opinions on even different characters, but this one is another reason why I feel like I didn't enjoy it is because I wasn't rooting for the main. I had no reason to root for him anymore. I'm trying to figure out why, because especially watching it, I was like, why don't I like Victor? Because like, again, I was kind of rooting for him season 2. Season 1, I was a bit like, okay, you're fine. And this season I was like, no. Like, and that's because again, I kind of came to the conclusion that we had nothing to root for him for. And we had no personality that was significant enough outside of the goal. Because as soon as we kind of like had the whole coming out thing and the love interest, it just was like no personality, nothing really there. Every single attribute that we should like him for kind of gets forgotten or gets disproved instantly. Like, for example, one of them is supposed to be caring, but we don't really experience him being caring for his family. For caring his friends, the only thing we get of caring is Rahim, but then he treats Rahim like really not good. If a friend treated me how Victor treated Rahim, I don't think I'd want to be friends with them for long. So the reasons why I think I wouldn't want to be Victor's friend if I was Rahim, number one, the way that I think he handled the whole crush situation. Now, I'm not saying that like Victor had to be like, yes, I want to be with you. Oh no. As I say later on in the video, I'm glad they stayed friends because it's great for Victor and Rahim to have a gay friend. It wasn't validating and it wasn't speaking about the situation, especially after such a long gap. It wasn't like, hey, I know you feel this way. I don't feel this way for you, but I respect you and I want to be your friend. And it wasn't communicating that. This is what it was. Hi, no one's speaking to me and I'm really bored because no one likes me. So Number two, the whole party thingy, that would have pissed me off if someone done that to me. It would have just been like, babe, step back. And then number three, the dinner scene, then the double date situation. I don't know why no one was like, can we go outside with Rahim? Especially if Rahim's feeling uncomfortable because no one wants to face homophobic abuse. I didn't know that was my casual pastime. Like, yeah. But like, I just kind of sat there, I was like, why aren't you listening? Like, your friend is going, hey, can we go outside? Those guys are weirding me out. And you're just like, nope. Ignore it. You know when like you have a straight friend who's just freaking oblivious? Felt like that. And then what made it worse is Victor's like, oh my god, how did you figure that out? And you're just sitting there like, bitch, he said to leave. Like, can we go outside? And you're like, no, of course he's gonna figure out a freaking solution. No. And then he's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'll accept the bravery award. I'm like, bitch, what? Maybe it's also because I love Ryan. But for me, it just wasn't it. There wasn't any character. And I just was just like, why am I watching this for him? And again, comparison, like Aang. I feel like Aang is the best example of a comparison because he has the goal and the hero complex and protagonist energy, but you still want to watch it because he's just so lovable and he's such a fun character and he's just so energetic and funny and unique. I feel like, and just such like a good person that you really are like, I'm rooting for you. Like, I want you to win. And he does. You're like, yes, bitch. Also, Nick. I love Nick. I want to give Nick a big hug and be like, baby, let me protect you. Like, he's so sweet and kind and loving. And you really can tell he's also just adorable and like just so like cinnamon roll energy. I mean, granted, it doesn't have to be that like sweet loving thingy. Like, we could do different character development. Like, Victor kind of like learning to become himself more. We could have like literally done so many other things. But no, because they only tied to Victor a lot of his character around like love and partnership and sex, it becomes dull and boring and just like an eye roll, you know? So my next point, Rahim, marry me, please.
Maybe I should have been cussing at you this whole time.
Suddenly my legs are wide open.
I love Rahim so much. Like, Rahim is seriously the best character of the series. I'm not kidding you. I just loved Rahim as a character. I don't know if it's because of storyline or because of like the actor himself, Anthony, who he's single. I felt like his character was the most in-depth this season. Like, we actually had development or some depth. Because I feel like it's because with Rahim, we see him go through highs and lows. My favorite bit was the part after he managed to get Colton's number. After that dinner with, I think, his uncle, because he had to pretend to be straight, eye roll. He's kind of like, I'm never doing that again. I will never want to do that again. And he was like crying. I was like, oh my God, baby, I feel your pain. Everything about it was just so well done. His mom apologizing, like, I'm really sorry. Like, I shouldn't have done that to you. That's not respectful to you. And I'm so sorry. And it's like, from now on, it's like, I will never do that. And I was like, thank you. Because it shows kind of parents like making mistakes and listening to their kids, but also Rahim is in a fun relationship, and I'm so glad we do still get a Muslim queer man. I mean, Blair Romani did a great video about it. I feel like it's so great to see a queer person of color who's also a person of faith. I just loved it, and I'm so glad we got that storyline and we got that development. And I'm also so glad we did see him pray. I don't know if it's accurate, so any of my queer Muslim folks out there, please tell me in the comments if it's accurate. It is really validating because I remember when I made my part 2 and I kind of said it was nice to see that. So many people were like, oh my God, like I need to watch this now. Like some of my friends even who are Muslim and queer kind of be like, oh my God, I need to see this, oh my God. I just think that's why it's so important to have characters kind of be diverse. Not only characters within like different sexualities and different races, but also religions, neurodiversity, disabilities, faiths. Someone's gonna feel seen within your work, you know? And we've kind of seen that like feeling seen within stuff like Turning Red, seen it within Heartstopper, Pose, and just so many other things. So it's so good that we got that character. If they were going to, which I don't know if they are, I would love to see a spin-off of him in college and kind of do the college experience of being queer as well. I feel like that'd be so interesting. Going to one where he can be more open, dating, communities, finding about himself. College and university is the time to do it. So like, why not do it? Now comes the most important question that's on everyone's lips. I don't think anyone's asking this, but still. Who is the best boy for Victor? Now, my opinion might be a little, different, but I think it's Nick. Now, let me explain to you why. Let's first start off with why it isn't Rahim. Now, again, I love Rahim to death, and I do admit that Victor and Rahim, they connect. They have really good connections on different things. They can relate to each other, especially as they're both people of color, and they're both in the LGBTQ+ community, and they're both people of faith. So there's a lot they connect to, and also they just enjoy each other's company, and they feel comfortable with each other. However, after watching season 3, I was like, hell no, bitch, bye. But also, I feel like they should have just stayed friends, and I'm kind of confused why we don't have more of just queer people being friends. I'm quite glad they stayed friends. I was like, okay, good. However, I do need to bring this up. In Love Victor and in so many other like teen rom-com-y movie thingies of recent, they do this trend where they introduce a second guy or a second love interest and they're always a person of color and they always never get chosen. It's supposed to be because of proximity and like, oh my god, like they knew the first guy longer so they're gonna stay with him, although they have a better connection with the second guy. I was talking about Love Victor with one of my friends and he brought up this point, and so did someone else in the second season commentary brought this up as well. I see it. I don't like it. This is also in like Kissing Booth 2, To All the Boys I Love 2, Tall Girl 2. So Love Victor is no exception. And it's feeling a little racist. Yeah, I don't like it. So I wish Victor did go with a person of color or another person of color got into the mix and they got chosen over Benji. Benji? Do I need to discuss? You can watch my last video for that. But honestly, even like this season, it was just so confusing. I was like, oh, I was expecting him to go through a lot of growth. He kind of was staying that I want to, but like I wish we actually went through it because all it was like, do I want to stay with Victor or not? God, we could have done something so much more good. So I'm a little annoyed. I wish he apologized for half the stuff he did. Instead, it just felt like a lot of the blame went back on Victor. Yikes. I just don't think they have enough of the highs. Although, again, I'm still gonna say it. This is the most adorable thing ever, and I wish they kind of continued it throughout season 2. That's why I would have loved if Victor came out at school maybe like later on the season or went slowly, gradually, so they still could do this, or just did it in general because it was so cute. But like apart from that, they just argued the whole time. Benji outed Victor to his little brother in a household that he knows was at some point homophobic. Sorry, I'm still never gonna forgive him for season 2 because he never really apologizes for any of it. So it's just a bit like, no. Nick! Why I think Nick? Firstly, because when they were making out, I kind of low-key thought it was hot at some moments, like in the car and outside. What does that say about me? But it was kind of hot, okay? I don't even find Nick hot as a guy. Like, there was something about it that just was like, ooh. I generally felt like he was way more understanding for such a short period of time. Also, I kind of loved the bit when I was like, I want to take it slow. And Victor's like, come on, are you sure you want to go in? Like, even though I was like, bitch, this is hot. So maybe they were just a hot couple. What was really nice was like, Nick was like, I know you need to make sure Brahim's okay. Go out there, make sure he's better. And when we get back, we can do what we want. And I was like, that's kind of sweet. Like when he was like, yeah, you're my boyfriend. Like, I told to try it out. I was like, ah. Granted, we did need a bit more time with them, but I feel like they overall had quite a positive relationship. So I'm kind of more here for Nick. We got our bi icon Lake. And I have no choice but to stand. I was so glad we got a sapphic love story, finally. And I also really like them together. I wish we got more development of them. It was nice to kind of have them be them, like not really having to like try and like hide it. Like it was just them being like, yeah, we're queer, we're a couple. Although I felt like we should have got more of a story of Lake coming out. And I liked how Lucy's like, you've made me view Creekwood in a different way and I don't want to leave because of you. I was like, ah! Why wasn't this season about them? However, Mr. Felix trying to come in and be like, as soon as he broke up with Pilar, be like, Lake's now my friend Mira, like I'm starting to have feelings about Lake again. I was like, I will not let you ruin the sapphic relationship. Honestly, I still love Lake though. That coming out felt a bit quick, especially to her mum, but I am glad we kind of got that storyline and I really, really liked it. Let's go on to the next point, which I feel like I wish I kind of knew going into this show versus what they kind of advertised it as, because I think it would change the perspective of the show, which just shows it was really poor marketing. This show is about love, not queerness. And because of that, it completely changes the perspective of the show to me. I feel like season 1 and season 3 in particular, they really heavily focus on love. That's why you don't really get much character development in that. So for me, I felt like I wish there was more than just that. The way it's marketed is supposed to be like Love Simon. No, about being gay and trying to figure out who you are and your identity, whether you are in the LGBTQ community or not, and about kind of self-discovery. So for me, kind of like cutting that out and just going, nope, love, couples, that's it, just really kills it. And maybe that's what makes the show so much less interesting, because there isn't that depth, there isn't that dimension or anything. So it ended up just being really disappointing, and particularly this season because there's nothing. The problem is it's told through a straight person's perspective, and you can kind of tell, not only through like the writing of it, but also any queer issue, we must speak about it from the straight person, or like certain things didn't really get brought up or got brought up poorly, e.g. the whole like straight people thinking that because you're both gay you can be paired together. Oh my god, that was so poorly done. The STI thing, okay, that's not actually a queer issue, but that was just really badly done. The thing is, they actually tried to with Benji, but it felt so off place, also because we also heard about the event from Benji season 1, so why do we need to see it again? Anyway, so best season of the show, we have in the one corner season 1, in the middle we have season 2, and in the upper corner is season 3. Now can we tell who the winner is? It's season 2, baby! Woo! Season 2 is probably the best season out of the 3 because it just was the most interesting. We actually got storylines, we got to talk about queerness and about different things. I really liked it. It was just a really good show. I think characters really grew and developed, and you end up loving characters that you didn't love in the beginning. E.g. Lake. I didn't like her season 1, loved her season 2, and I like her season 3. So obviously this growth, and we got introduced to Rahim. Obviously I adore it. It was a decent season. Now, overall, my opinions of the show, meh. Honestly, very meh. I definitely feel like season 3 just went... Particularly episode 5 and 6, I got bored. It just didn't really give me anything, and I really just wasn't wowed by it. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. While there were elements I enjoyed, I don't know, it just wasn't it for me, and yeah. If you did enjoy it though, oh my god, please tell me why in the comments. I love having discussions about different things. I hope you enjoyed this. It was so good to be back filming. And do you know where we have more content coming up? Not just like film commentary stuff, but like way more awesome content. Do not worry, it's coming back. I hope to see you guys in the next video, which will probably be next week or the week after. Fingers crossed. Bye everyone!